Well, hello everyone. Happy LYS Day, our local yarn store day. Today is Saturday, April 29th, 2023, and this is episode 18 of Brigitte's She Shed. Welcome all. Welcome to those of you that have found my channel for the very first time. Welcome to back to those of you who are returning viewers. Thank you so very much for giving me a moment to share my little portion of the yarny community with you. It is a very warm day here in southeastern Arizona in the United States. It's about 90 degrees today, and it's roughly around 3:30 in the afternoon, so it's been quite warm today. But I just want to say that it's a beautiful spring day here. It's nice not to have it so cold. Believe it or not, even though I'm in the desert, it does get very cold. We did have days of snow back in February and a little bit in March. So it's nice that it's now starting to heat up. This is like the sweet spot in the weather, because come June, it's going to be unbearable. The high temperatures will be 110. This is Fahrenheit. Okay, like I said, I'm Brigitte with Brigitte's She Shed. All of my information on where you can find me, I will have in the show notes, so you can either hit your down arrow on your device or click the button that says more, and I put all the links about everything that I show and talk about there. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is okay. I'm doing better. Again, I'm getting better every day, every week, and I'm just so happy just to be here and to share some time with you. So I don't want to keep this as a really, really long video, vlog, blog, podcast, all of the above. But it's been about 2 weeks since my last recording. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. That was my first recording with my new film crew. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Please let me know if there's something I can do. If you're not hearing me clearly, I do have a mic, but I haven't been using it because I really don't think we need it. But let me know if you're having problems hearing me, and let me know how the actual, video looks. If it's cloudy, clear, let me know in the comments. You know how I love comments. So I have a couple of finished objects, FOs. I have a couple of WIPs, works in progress. And I have a couple of sips, which is stuff I've purchased. So, and I also have my drinking sip. So again, this is my favorite, one of my favorite mugs. Live Your Best Life, Oprah Winfrey. And I have water again today because I have to drink a lot of water. My water intake has really increased since I was hospitalized. So I have to drink a lot of water. So I've been drinking lots and lots and lots of water. So let me take a sip. So good. You take a sip of your favorite beverage, sit back, grab your knitting, grab your crocheting, cross stitch, embroidery, whatever, and just relax with me for a few minutes. Okay? First thing I want to talk about is my finished object. As you know, for 2023, my goal has been to learn how to do color work. So I've been starting off with small circumferences in socks of color work. And I have a finished object, and it is a pair of socks by Charlotte Stone from out of this book, Charming Colorwork Socks. And you can see all my little tabs, all the things that I want to make, because as makers, we want to make all the things. And I certainly want to make all the things. But I've been having a really great time. A lot of you on my last recording, gave me some great tips on color work, because I'm a English knitter. I knit with my right hand and I throw, and I've been knitting since I was 7 years old, and that's the way I learned how. But I also learned how to crochet first when I was 7 before I learned how to knit. So you would think holding yarns in 2 hands would be easy for me, and it has not been. But a lot of you gave me some really nice tips. Diane with the Island Lamb even sent me a video that was very helpful. So I've been trying it out and I'm getting the hang of it. So these are the socks here. And let me show you my finished object. Let's put that down there. Here they are. I have 2 pair. Aren't they beautiful? See the little coffee mugs and the steam? And the colors that I'm using, gosh, they almost mimic the colors that the designer used in the book, which I love. And these are for the hubs. There's a little story behind these. I actually knit 3 socks. Here's what happened. So see, what happened was, I'm learning how to do color work. So I made the first sock, but I did not catch my floats. And the floats, for those of you that don't know, is when you do the work. See these strings here? And you change colors, and you go from strand to strand when you're changing colors. I didn't catch those when the strand or the float was longer than 5 stitches. I didn't catch. No problem. I had the hubs try them on before I did the heel, and they fit just fine. So I decided with the second sock, I'd go ahead and catch the float. And when he went to try them on, he couldn't get them past his heel. They didn't fit. And it was the way I had caught the float. It really, you could see where it was pulling and tightened it up. And so I had to rip out that whole sock and do another sock. And I didn't catch the float in the other sock. And so now he has 2 complete pair that he can wear. Get a slide really easily over his feet. Now, you might be saying, well, why didn't you go up a needle size? I did. And I'm a loose knitter. So when you do color work, they recommend that you go up a needle size when you're doing the color work. So I did that, but it was the way I caught the float. So obviously I'm not doing it correctly. So I'm going to have to watch some more videos, or if any of you have any tips on catching the float and understand what I'm saying, what I did. But you could definitely see the tension, how I caught it, and you could see that strand just pulling across. So I knit 3 socks in order to get 2. That was quite the adventure, considering the hubs has a very large foot. But that's the joy of knitting. You get to rip it out and start all over again. I just love it. So these are the yarn that I use. The main color is from Hypnotic Yarns. And it came from out of the Cheryl is the dyer behind Hypnotic Yarns. And she has a yarn subscription. And this was the yarn subscription for, let me see, September of 2021. And the colorway is called Born to be Mild. I'm sorry. Yes, Born to be Mild. which is her oh my gosh, plush sock fingering, which is a 85% superwash nylon and 15% nylon and 85% superwash. It's been so long since I did a podcast, just 2 weeks. I can't even talk right. Okay. So this is what I have left. So it's enough perhaps for me to do a pair of shorties. I'm going to try to do some shorties using this same pattern, but maybe eliminating some of the top portions here and just go straight into the coffee cups and just putting the coffee cups on. But there it is there. And it's born to be mild. Okay. I didn't weigh this. So I don't know how much it is, but there was like 400 and something yards on here. So definitely enough to do some shorties with contrasting heels, cuffs, and toes. And then the other contrasting color, this color here is from KnitPicks. Here it is here. This is called Burnt Umber, I believe. Yes, Burnt Umber Heather. And I had 26 grams left. These come in 50-gram balls. And it's the KnitPicks Stroll fingering. And it's a 75% superwash, 25% nylon. And the final color, which is in the trim here, here, and here. That is this color here, which is Winter Wonderland. I think that's the name of it. I'm just making up names as I go along. If not, KnitPicks, you can use that name if that's not the name. Yeah, that's not the name. It's Wonderland Heather. And I have 45 grams left of this. So I only used 5 grams for that portion. So I'm very satisfied with them. The hubs is very satisfied. He's been very patient with me because he's been wanting to wear these. He's so knit worthy. He's been wanting to wear these. And I says, no, you can't wear them till I put them on the channel. So now he can put them on his feet. Okay. My next, and I'm looking at notes. It doesn't seem to be helping, but I'm looking at notes. My next finished object is a sock set that I got, I think it was last year, April of 2022. I bought this set, and these are the April Showers socks by Twin Stitches Design. And again, I'll have the link to the pattern in Ravelry down below. And Moonglow Yarn Co., which is Whitney is the dyer, and she did a sock set last year called April Showers. And if you can see, there's the cloud and the little raindrops. This is so pretty. Now, there's a story behind this. I don't know what happened. These are for me. And I cast on 64 stitches for whatever size that was. I think it was like a medium. And with a 2.25 millimeter, which is a US 1. And then for the color work, I went up to a 2.5 millimeter, which is a US 1.5 when I did the color work. But for some reason, when I did the toe here, like in the pattern, I did not have enough gray to do the toe on the other sock. But I had quite a bit of gray left from where I just used it here at the clouds. So I put it on the toe. And I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Kind of cute, kind of funky. And with that, I had between 4 to 6 grams of yarn left of each color. And I know Whitney is bringing this sock set back, and she just it was on her Instagram early last week where she brought the sock set back, the April Showers sock set back. And Moonglow Yarn Company, and it's the April Showers sock set. Beautiful yarn. It is so soft, and I love her yarns, and I'm so happy with the results. So these I cast on April 10th, and I finished them on the 25th. Not bad. Okay. All right. So what am I wearing? I am wearing a t-shirt, obviously, not knitwear, but it's a knitting t-shirt, and it says, "Tell me I'm pretty, bring me chocolate, and let me knit." I don't remember where I got this shirt from. I got it, I think about a year or so ago. I found it on Etsy. So it's one of my favorites. It's oversized. I love oversized t-shirts. I don't like my t-shirts to fit. And so I'm very, very comfy today. All right. Let me take another sip. How we doing out there? What's the weather like where you are? Let me know. Okay. So what do I have on my needles for spring? Because I'm starting to do my spring knitting, and I'm so excited. I've been loving all of the colors and everything. So you may have seen on Instagram, I didn't post it on YouTube. I should, though, as a reel. I did one reel, my very first reel, with me sitting outside on one of the nice spring days knitting on the back patio. But I did a reel showing where I was cleaning out my shed, my she shed. And I showed just a quick showing of my collection of Pearl Soho linen quill yarn and some cascade yarns that I had. And I was rearranging everything. And I believe I'm going to do a future video of my shed so you can see what I've done. I've rearranged some things. I got another jar for my minis. I still have this jar. And so I've been doing some rearranging of things. I've got rid of some yarn. I destashed and got rid of some yarns that I'm no longer using. They're no longer bringing me joy. I've had them for quite some time, and my knitting has changed. The things that interest me has changed, and it's like there's no point in just holding on to this yarn when someone else could be using it. So I donated it, and so it's now gone. Hopefully we'll go to some happy knitting and crocheting homes instead of just sitting here taking up some very valuable real estate in my she shed. And hopefully that will allow me to see actually what I have. I've been on a yarn diet this year as well, where I'm trying to use up a lot of my stash. The problem with my stash is that I love knitting socks, so I have a lot of single skein fingering weight sock yarn. I love fingering weight yarn, so I'm trying to see how I can incorporate those fingering weights into sweaters or summer tees, pairing them maybe with like with a fade, with another set of yarn, but a lot of different things because I just have so much. But let me show you what I've got on my needles. I'm so excited. So I believe I showed this to you all Oh man, it's across the room. I believe I showed this to you all last episode that I was going to start. I'm making this sweater or tee, but summer tee, but I changed the yarn. So let me go grab it. Okay, I'm back. It's living in my Grocery Girls tote bag. And I got this bag years ago. It's really, really neat. And it has, I think they named her Becky the Beaver. I think that was what her name was. But this was an exclusive design that was made for them. But this is a great bag. It's really thick canvas. I love it. So I'm pretty sure I showed you this last week or last episode. And this was the Honeybee Tee by This Bird Knits. And it's really, really pretty. And I was going to make it out of this yarn, which is Pearl Soho Cattail Silk. I've never used this yarn before, and they were having a sale on it, so I bought 2 skeins of it. And it's not at all what I thought it was going to be in terms of silk. It's not soft. It's got these little puffy little things in it. So I was very, very disappointed that it wasn't soft. It's not scratchy, but it's really rough. And by it being, it's 100% silk. I've never knit with 100% silk, but I do have some other yarns, some lace weight yarns that have silk in it, and they're really, really like buttery soft. And so I was really surprised that this wasn't. So when I did my swatch, I thought, okay, it will soften up when I do my swatch. Well, when I did the swatch, I thought, okay, it'll bloom when I do the swatch. And here's my swatch. And I love the fabric, but it's not as soft as what I wanted. So I put it in timeout. I got angry. I frogged it and I put it in timeout. And maybe I'll come back and try this pattern again. I don't know if any of you have used this before, this yarn before. It's not a bad yarn. I would say it's just not what I was expecting. And even when I was winding it, I thought, gosh, this feels kind of rough. But then, okay, it'll get better when I block it, wash it and block it. So this is it here. And that's the Cattail Silk by Pearl Soho. If any of you have used this before, let me know what your experience was with it. And it's got quite a bit of yardage on here. It has 618 yards. And I have 2 skeins of this. So I'm thinking maybe if I pair it with maybe like some mohair and make a sweater out of it or something, that might soften it up some. So my second option was because I cleaned out my stash and I could see how much Pearl Soho I really had. I found this. Isn't that beautiful? It's kind of heathery, and this is called, what is this called again? Here we go. This is Eggshell Blue. Again, this is linen quill, which is 50% fine Highland wool and 35% alpaca. And it is just beautiful. It almost has like a heathery look to it. And please forgive me with my nose if I'm sniffing a lot. My allergies. And I'm going to put some pictures in of what my yard looks like right now. Everything is blooming. So I decided to do the honey tea. The honeybee tea. And here it is. I'm almost ready to split for sleeves. I'm just finishing my last round of increases. There's the lace section there. And what I did was I added a couple of more rows to the neck because it only had like half an inch of ribbing, and I wanted more because I wanted to bring it up. And I've tried it on and I like the way it fits, and it's beautiful. And I can't wait to get this finished and get this on and get it blocked so that everything can open up. So, and like I said, this is the honeybee tea by This Bird Knits. It's made on a size 9. I think these are 9. Yeah. Yes, US 9 5.50 needles. And these are my, these are called Jador or Jadore knitting needles by KnitPicks. Is it no, Knitter's Pride. And I got this last year for Mother's Day. And this was a special one. They're cubics, they're wood, and they're cubics. But I really like a couple of things about them is that they have it etched in here, which you can't see. The size also, as well as on the tip, they have it embossed in the side. And I'm really loving the cable. It's reminding me of my Chiago red lace needles, which are my very, 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 very favorite. So this is my first time really using these, even though I've had them for a year, because again, I always tend to go to my Chiago. But I said, let me try on the wooden needles to see how this linen quill will behave. And it's behaving beautifully with the needles. So I'm very, very happy. I'm zipping right along. Like I said, with the size 9, no time at all. These little tips, I love these. These came, originally I got 2 of tips in my December Yarnable box, and they were little gingerbread men. And the name of the company is Stitch Stoppers. And so I ordered more. And again, I'll put the link below. I ordered more, and they have all different things, but I love flamingos. I have flamingos in my yard. Yes, I have flamingos in my yard. And so I have them for needle stoppers, along with a little honeybee progress keeper. Since this is the honeybee tea, I need a honeybee progress keeper. And I believe this Progress Keeper came from 3 by the Sea. And I will also link that as well. So that actually is one of my whips. My other whip is a pair of socks. Oops. Oh, let me write that down about the, make sure I write that down to include that in the show notes. Okay. These socks are living in this bag. And this bag is by Awesome Grannies. And the socks I'm making here, these are the Hello Shorty socks. And they're by Deb Buckingham. And I am using three, one is a sock set and one is not. So, I guess I should have put this on a blocker for you to see. But here is the pattern. I think they're adorable. I'm working on the foot right now. And the contrast heel, oh my goodness, the contrast cuff will also be the toe. And this is Cascade. No, I'm wrong. I tell you, I don't know what's wrong with me today. This is Cloudborn. And it is called Lavender Heather. There it is there. And it's their Highland Superwash sock twist. I love this yarn. I have several different skeins of it. And it is 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide. I believe that Cloudborn is discontinued. They no longer make yarn, and that is really a shame because I love their yarn. And then the main color is called Blueberry Macaroon, and this came as a kit with the matching mini, and this is the heel. And this yarn is by one of my favorite Canadian dyers, which is Rose Hill Yarns. And I just love her yarns. And this is 463 yards with a 92 yard mini skein, and it's 75% superwash and 25% nylon blackberry macrone. And if you've been around here long, you know I love my purple. So that's my first sock. I'm almost done with it. These are going to be a gift for my daughter. She doesn't watch the podcast. Shame on her. But I'm going to surprise her with these socks. She likes purple also. And I'm using, here we go. Trying to get more into saying what I'm using. These I'm doing, making the socks on Magic Loop. I start off my socks on 9-inch circulars and I knit the cuff. And then when I get ready to do the heel, this heel happens to be a heel flap and gusset, which is not my favorite, but it fits her better. My foot, I like a short row heel. It fits my foot better. But for the hubs and my daughter, a heel flap and gusset seems to be the better ticket. So then I switch over to magic loop when I start doing the heel. And so this is, again, the Chalgu red lace US 1 2.25. And I cast on like the size for 64 stitches. So I typically knit my socks on a size 0 with 64 stitches, but I think I'm going to go up to a size 1, but reduce the stitch count to maybe 56 and see how that plays with me. I'm still fooling around with finding just the right spot, and I'm noticing that it depends on with the yarn, how plump the yarn is. That will make a difference in how tight they're fitting on me. So I still haven't found that out yet, so I'm working on that. Well, considering I've been knitting socks for about 7 or 8 years now. All right, my last work in progress is a test knit. It's a test knit, and it's living in this beautiful bag by my wonderful friends at 3 by the Sea. Again, I will link to them. They're wonderful bag makers. They're having an update on May 6th at 12 Eastern Time, so make sure you catch that. They make beautiful bags. They do beautiful stitch markers and progress keepers, and they've now gotten into yarn dyeing. So 3 by the Sea, they're the ticket. So this is a test knit by Malia Knits, and I started this yesterday. I was selected to test knit, and I'm so honored. And so I asked if I could show the pattern, and she said yes. So here they are. And it's the Monstera socks. So like the plant, and I have one. I have a little baby one that's leaves haven't gotten really big yet. But it is such a beautiful plant. And I am, got a lot of strings here. Again, because I'm all about the color work this year. So here is my sock. I'm just starting to work on the heel flap. So this sock, because it's a test knit, I will knit it as she has written the pattern with the heel flap. But can you see the leaves? Now this yarn that I'm using, I went stash diving. And this yarn is very pretty. This is from when I used to get a box subscription from a company called Knitcrate. And I don't believe they are doing box subscriptions anymore. But this was my very first company that I ever started getting a box subscription from. I got it for several years. And then their yarn selection changed, and so I stopped getting their subscription, and that's when I found Yarnable. But can you see the stellina in there, the little silver sparkles? So I thought that would be really neat on the leaves. And it's name of the yarn is Vidalana. And it's the Vidalana Shimmer and the yarn is called Tangles. And it is 70% superwash merino and 20% nylon and 10% stellina. And the heel, I dabble in yarn dyeing, and so right now I dabble in yarn dyeing in the sun, putting it in mason jars with food coloring, and I really love that. So my adventure this summer, and I will take you along on that adventure, will be to use natural dyes, such as my first one. I think I'm collecting onion skins and avocado pits to do outside in the sun. So the contrast color, this is just some bare wool, a bare merino wool. It's a 75% merino superwash and 25% nylon from a company called Wool to Die For, and that's the company that I get my my yarn from for dyeing. So the pattern, so far the only change that I've made to the pattern is that the pattern calls for you to use the main color for the cuff, but because of the stellina in here, I wanted to stand out. To me, I thought that was just going to be too much, so I broke it up and put the contrast color on the cuff as well. So right now, like I said, I'm starting on the heel, just starting the slip stitch heel flap, and I'm having a ball. No, I didn't catch my floats, so I've got some really long floats in here, but these are for me, so I just have to be careful when I put them on. Like I said, I need to do some more research on catching those floats, because I don't want to have to knit socks twice. Okay. And that is my whips, my current whips. You know, I always have whips, but this is my current whips. Because who doesn't have more than one whip? If you do, put it in the comment. That's what I'd like to know. How many whips do you have? Don't be ashamed, because I have baskets full of whips, okay? Because I work on what brings me joy. And I start something and it's bringing me joy, then I see something else and I want to try that, and that starts bringing me joy. Then I'll come back around to it. And it's like a whole new project again when I come back to it. So don't be afraid of having those whips. All right, we're almost done for the day. Again, I didn't want to keep you all too long. I just wanted to share a couple of things that I bought as sips. Let me take a sip first. All right. Spring 2023 Pom Pom magazine is out. Some beautiful things in here. I'm still going through it and looking. If you notice, there's no tabbies yet because I haven't really sat down and looked, but there are some things in here that are just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. One of the problems, look at that. One of the problems is that I love these things, but I live in a very warm climate. So right now, combining like some type of fluffy, furry yarn like mohair or Suri alpaca just doesn't really excite me right now when my temperatures, look at that. When my temperatures are going to be hovering around, you know, between 110 and 118. Yeah, wearing mohair or Suri alpaca just doesn't really, you know, sound like fun. So that's one of the things but I'm loving the patterns. I'm really, really loving it. So I have to see what I can do. Any of you guys have any suggestions? If any of you live in a warm climate, especially here in the northern hemisphere where we're getting ready to have summer, and I know the southern hemisphere, they're in the dead of winter. So, but if you live in where you have a warm climate, what do you do? I'm experimenting with knitting with more animal fibers. So you're going to see a few more things. Not animal fibers, plant fibers. Like I've got the linen quill. I've got some cotton. I've got some bamboo in my stash that I want to work on this year. And then my last sip is 52 Weeks of Socks, Volume 2. I didn't buy Volume 1, but I'm loving Volume 2. First of all, great books. I love books. I love my digital, but I love books. This is so nice, and it's got like linen, which is so nice. And one of the things that made me buy this book, I just got so excited. It's one of the channels that I watch. Another podcaster that I watch is Knit Sip Happy, and that's Nancy Wheeler, and I'll put her info down below. She has a pattern in here, and I don't want to see how I can do this where I don't give away the I don't want to give away the pattern. There we go. So this is called the 50 Hexi Diamond. And I think you might be able to get this individually on Ravelry. I don't know. But there it is. Let's see if I can get that in there. So that's going to be my first sock that I'm going to knit is Nancy Wheeler's sock. Because us YouTube podcasters have to stick together. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. I'm so proud of her. Congratulations on having a pattern. I know, well, I don't know her, but when you're in this community, you feel like you know your fellow podcasters. And so I feel like I know her. I watch her every time I get the notification that she's got an episode. So I get my knitting and I get my sip and I watch her. So if you have it, there's some other beautiful patterns in here that I can't wait to check out. Again, to help me use up all of this beautiful fingering weight yarn that I have in my stash. 52 weeks. Okay. All right. Well, that's all that I have for you all today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what is going on in your neck of the woods. What's bringing you joy right now on your needles or on your hook. Because life is so precious and so short, we should spend it with the ones we love and with things that we love doing. All right? So have a wonderful week coming up. Don't forget today is local yarn store day. If you haven't gotten out to your local yarn store, pretty much visiting my She Shed is my local yarn store. And also on May 6th, for those of you that can get there, the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival is happening. I so wanted to be able to go this year, but due to health reasons, I'm not able to travel yet. So for those of you that are going, let me know if you're going in the comments. If you go, let me know how it was in the comments. I want to live vicariously through you. So, all right. Enjoy yourselves, please. Stay safe. Be healthy. I love you. Bye-bye.